Hello everyone and welcome back to another car review. Now if you watched our Cobalt review video, I said that we had finally reviewed all of the Grundlin cars. However, my family took that to heart and proceeded to buy 2 new cars after that video. But we've already reviewed the Corvette, which was the first one, and here we have the second one, a 2011 Dodge Charger RT. Here for this video we have its driver Jase to talk to us about it.
Boom.
So first things first, we'll start along the side of this Charger because I just want to show the size of this thing. This is a 120-inch wheelbase. This is a full-size sedan made by Dodge that you just don't see anymore. Like everybody has crossovers, and even those are kind of smaller than this. This is a big, heavy American sedan, and it definitely embraces that, I think. So Dodge bought the Charger name back in 2006. This is 2011, so it's sort of a refresh from that. Plus, it's the RT, so you get the Hemi in it. And it was sort of the top of the line you could get at the time. There wasn't an SRT for this year. The RT was the highest you could get with the 5.7 V8, but we'll look at that later. I do want to talk about the side here because Dodge has used this sort of swooping design around the side that you still see on the modern Chargers. They brought it back and it's kind of been on the Charger ever since. And I think it's a really cool line. It sort of breaks up just the vastness of sheet metal along the side here. With the RT model as well, you get these really cool 5-spoke chrome wheels. These are 20-inch wheels you got in 2011 before the whole, huge wheel craze. So it's a really big car. So Jase, driving this car, do you feel the size of it? Do you feel like you're driving a tank?
Not really, actually. No. Only when I'm backing up, then I can tell. I'm like, man, this thing is huge.
Do you have a backup camera with this, or?
No, but we will be installing one.
So with this sort of iconic line running down the side of the car, we have the gas cap here, which it's not like on the Challengers where you get the really cool fuel button and it pops open. Rather, it's sort of folded with the car. It doesn't pop open like you would expect. There's no handle here to grab. So it's actually an electronic fuel cap, which is always fun. And it's not where you would traditionally think it would be. Normally you think it'd be over here or under the dash somewhere. It's actually over here, hidden in the door. You push that and it opens right up. Definitely something that you will never forget while going to the gas station. So around the back of the Charger, you see, of course, the iconic Racetrack Light that Dodge is now known for, and this was one of the first cars to have it. You can see it's different than the modern Chargers. It's full red here, but you still get the red lights that circle all around there.
We will be getting new taillight, well, the new middle taillight, yes, and then a blackout sticker. So you will only see just the stripe like the newer Dodges. Okay,
so you take out the red part here?
Yep.
Will you be keeping the Dodge badge?
Yes, of course.
Okay, that's good. I like it. Unbadged cars just don't look right to me. So here we can talk about the trunk space now in this full-size sedan. You can see there's plenty of room for all of your necessities. A mechanic to fix your car when you're broken, you can fit like 3 of them in there. Honestly, the space in here is really incredible. Obviously, it's a full-size sedan. Something else cool you probably saw on the popping open. This opens up totally by itself. It's not power close, of course. This is 2011, and don't worry, he's safe. He has a pop-out command if he needs it. Also, I don't know if you can see it from there, but you get some nice dual exhaust. This is a Hemi after all. You need lots of exhaust. And also, with the RT models, you get, of course, the awesome RT badge here, but you also get a nice spoiler, which really helps this car out, I think. Just having it plain blank like you do on the non-RT models, you need the wing on here. I'm sure it provides lots of downforce, and it looks cool either way.
We wouldn't have bought one without it.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. They don't look right without it. There you go. Did you use your thing?
I did. The only other fun fact I can think of back here is that the battery is located underneath this panel.
Oh, the battery's back here. Oh, that's cool.
This car originally came equipped with a cargo net that would have gone here, but there's only one hook left installed.
Oh, no.
And no cargo net.
Interesting.
But if you remove this panel, you get a little hook.
Oh, and a full-size spare.
You get a full-size spare, jack, wheel chocks. You also get a battery and fuse block back here.
Oh, the fuses are there as well.
Yep.
Well, that's really cool.
So everything's kind of located back here. It's cool until you get somebody that has like all of their personal possessions in the trunk.
Ah.
You can't get to that.
So now over to the front of the Charger, you can see sort of the iconic Dodge grille also on this car. Pretty much every Dodge from this time had that. The Dart has that, the Charger has that, the Viper had a grille like this as well. But something cool to note with this Dodge, it says Dodge here, but you don't have the Dodge stripes, the red Dodge that you usually see after it, like you do on the license plate here, to compensate for that. But for some reason on the 2011 Charger, they didn't put the red slashes. You only have Dodge written on there. Now, Jase, you want to talk about these new headlights you have on this car?
Yes, so the old headlights that we had were the original. They were all fogged over, and Alan told me pretty much that if you were to defog them, that they would just come back. So we decided to go with aftermarket lights that look pretty much like the new Dodge Chargers. And a cool thing about the turn signals is that the LED strip does not go away like the newer ones. In fact, it actually stays, and this lights up.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's cool. So these are yeah, more reminiscent of the newer Chargers where you have the sort of hoop daytime running lights. But they do fit in there nice. Something else to note, this is the RT hood you can see with sort of these indents, but they call back to the original Charger that had these on the hood as well. So that's a cool heritage touch back to the Charger name. Also cool, of course, fog lights on this car. Everybody loves fog lights. Fog lights are great. But while we're up here, we might as well look at this car's party piece, the Hemi engine. And as you can see, first off, something I love is you have hydraulic struts here to hold the hood up. And I might add that this hood is about a quarter of the weight on the Jeep that we previously reviewed, which is interesting. But yeah, here we have, of course, the 5.7 liter V8 Hemi you got for this year. We'll bring in our local mechanic for some of the finer details here. First off, Alan, what are our power specifications?
Power specifications
Yes.
are 370 horsepower and 395 pound-feet of torque.
That's a hefty number. 370 is no joke. And I'm sure it propels this car pretty good.
Yes, you can feel the torque down low, and it'll drag you out of anything.
Nice, nice. So this is a Hemi, of course, 5.7, and this was, I guess, the highest engine you could get from Dodge at the time, right?
Yes, for 2011, this was the best engine you could get.
Mm-hmm.
They discontinued the 6.1 liter Hemi, and we're getting in the process of debuting the 6.4 liter Hemi. That wasn't available in the Charger until the next model year. So a couple other powertrain notes. This has a 5-speed automatic. It's a similar automatic to ones that were in Mercedes-Benz models of previous years, because Dodge was kind of in bed with Mercedes at the time, and so they took some of their parts, and Mercedes took some of their parts. They're both owned by Daimler. And then it has a 2.62 to 1 rear gear ratio. So it's a nice highway cruiser gear. You can cruise at like 80 miles an hour. It'll only be spinning like just over 1,700 RPM. And we actually got close to 30 miles per gallon when we drove this down to South Carolina, because it has what's called a multi-displacement system. It basically just uses collapsible lifters, which would allow the car to run on 4 cylinders in light cruising and coasting applications.
That's pretty impressive in 2011. That wasn't really a thing yet, I guess.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So when the original third generation Hemi came out, it was a big deal. It had 16 spark plugs, and it made 345 horsepower in the Ram truck. They revised it in 2009 and added some things. So they added that multi-displacement system that I talked about. They also added variable cam timing, so it can advance or retard the camshaft based on load quantities that you want to put into the accelerator pedal. So that's what allows it to make more horsepower at high RPM and then lots of torque at low RPM.
That's cool stuff. Cool stuff. So, do you have a cold air intake installed on this one?
No, this is just the stock
This
intake.
is a normal intake.
They had just replaced the air filter for us when I bought it, so I didn't feel like throwing out a perfectly good air filter.
Yeah.
So we'll put some miles on it, and then eventually we'll save up and put a nice Mopar cold air intake kit on there.
Nice. I also love that you appear to have cup holders up here for when you're working on your car.
I'm not really sure what that's for.
That's great.
But yeah, they're there if you need them. And it's great if you're like, taking stuff apart. You can like put spark plugs there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That you don't want to miss.
Yeah, so this car is rear-wheel drive, of course, but there was an all-wheel drive option. You could get a Hemi RT all-wheel drive Charger for this year, which is so cool.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that's really rare to find one of those.
They're more common than you think.
Oh, okay.
You could get all-wheel drive Chargers, like I think they debuted in like 2007, 2008, and you could get them with the Hemi up to 2014, and then they discontinued it because they couldn't fit the Hemi, the all-wheel drive system, and the new 8-speed automatic transmission with all that all-wheel drive stuff going on. But you can still get brand new Dodge Charger Pursuit vehicles with the Hemi and the all-wheel drive because they still use that older transmission setup. So a lot of the modern, like 2020 Dodge Charger cop cars that you see running around, they're probably Hemi all-wheel drive.
That's cool. All right, well, with that said, let's move to the interior. So moving to the back seat, the first thing I want to touch on with this car is just the angle of door opening. Now, this is like a 90-degree angle, and this is for the back seats as well. You have so much space to get in the car, which is why you can tell this is an American car built for like really big American people. But the funny thing is with that is when you're inside and you're sitting down, you actually have nothing you can grab. You have to lean way back out the car and then you can sit inside. So when you're in the back seat of this Charger, you get some cool stuff. One of which being just the space you get. This is obviously a huge car, which a long wheelbase. It's a full-size sedan, and that really shows in the back seat. You have tons of room for like adults. You know, I have good headroom. I have good room in general. It's something neat in here I'm noticing. You have rear climate vents, which are fully adjustable, of course. You don't have temperature adjustment back here, but you can control your fan speed, and it's nice to have vents, especially in this huge car. You also get, of course, fold-down cup holders here, but no trunk release, which is a shame. So this Charger it's not the top trim RT, so as a result, you do get the cloth seats, but I mean, cloth seats are fine. It's no big deal. And you do get this really cool door design here, this sort of stitched design that you see there. All right, so now moving up front in the Charger, again, note our gigantic doors that are completely out of reach, but do help for filming because now we have lots of space. So again, with this car, this is a 5-speed automatic, not a manual car, but the Chargers didn't come in manual. But you do have, I presume, a sport mode with this, right?
Yes.
So how does that work?
So you just pretty much put it in drive, and anytime you're driving, you can either click it to the left or click it to the right. Oh, okay. And then that's when you start your 5-speed.
Gotcha. So no paddle shifters, but that is cool. And in this car, as a Dart owner, I can't help but notice a lot of similar things. You have the same steering wheel, but this one's leather wrapped actually, which is really nice. And you have these push up and down buttons for your temperature in the middle. With this car, our gauge cluster here is pretty straightforward. You have your tachometer, gigantic gauges, and your speedometer here, with then your fuel and your engine temperature. You get this really cool design, also shared with the Dart a little bit, but you get this sort of encompassing screen and gauge cluster with this neat design in it. I haven't seen that before. That's pretty cool. And you have some really nice steering wheel controls. This has the same thing as the Dart where you have the buttons on the back of the steering wheel, which I really like. I think those are awesome for just music and track, your cruise control, your phone, and all your buttons to control the screen in the middle there. Some of your climate control things in the center. So you have dual zone climate here, which is pretty awesome. You know, heat up and down, and then you can control it further in the screen for more options. Something cool in this car, this has an Alpine sound system, which is badged there on the side. I also had Alpine speakers installed in my Dart, so another similarity. Of course, we have our center screen here, which is the Uconnect system, again, similar to what I had in the Dart. Jase, you want to talk us through some of the features this screen has?
Sure. So you can actually program it to say any phone that you want. So that's my iPhone.
Nice.
And then you have your heated seats. You
That's
have
nice.
High and low, that's it. And then you have your climate, which you can do on here, or you have these two buttons here as well.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, it's automatic temperature as well, so it's not just hot or cold. You can set it to the temperature you want. That's nice.
Yes, and this is my button for sync, so you can go up or down, and it'll adjust both of them.
Gotcha.
Something cool about this car, by the way, is if it's under 40 degrees, this car will automatically put the driver's heated seat on, and it puts it on defrost.
Nice, nice. So you also had an Apple CarPlay, sort of, I guess, extension added onto this car. This didn't have Apple CarPlay when it first came, but our local mechanic spliced it in. Oh, yeah, look at that.
So there's our Apple CarPlay setup. So you can go to Maps, it'll display Maps, it'll display your music. If you have Spotify, it'll use that.
And you got all your...
It's basically like,
Station.
if you're at all familiar with an Apple CarPlay setup, it's on there.
You really gotta press it.
Yeah.
Does it
So it's an old touchscreen that is not designed for Apple CarPlay. So it's not like the most responsive, but it's better than...
Honestly though, that functions like really well, I have to say.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's neat you can install that in. Also up here you can see there's a CD player. Of course this is 2011, so you still have CD players. And is this a SD card reader?
It sure is.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
You can play music off of an SD card if you really want.
Because everybody does that. Also, a neat feature up here, you have these sort of hidden cup holders under this tray. You can roll back. You have cup holders in there, which is always cool.
There was an option in 2011 for heated and cooled cup holders.
No way.
We do not have the RT Plus, so we did not get that feature.
Well, with all of that said, let's take her for a drive. So first things first while driving this car. First off, visibility is actually pretty good. You don't see the hood really at all. The windshield is it's a pretty good size. The windows are nice. And out the back, again, it's plenty of space. It's not like the Camaro where you're peering out of a, tiny little windshield, but the overall visibility is pretty good. You feel like it's a heavy car. How much do one of these weigh, Alan?
Over 4,000 pounds.
Yeah, like this thing, it's solid, and I don't know, you just have like a big dashboard, and it's just kind of, you feel like you're driving a big car. It's not like a lightweight sports car. But with that comes a lot of nice things. Like the ride, for one, it's really nice. It's more of a luxury car, really. Like, you don't feel all the bumps. It's not all that harsh. And you also feel really insulated in here.
The lack of road and wind noises.
Yeah, there's not a lot of road noise, there's not a lot of wind noise, and there's not really a lot of engine noise either. You can hear it, and you hear the V8 part of it, but it's not like, I don't know, it's not super intrusive while you're driving. It's nice. The transmission's good as well. Obviously, I haven't driven it that much, and I haven't like floated or anything, but just normal driving, it's just good. It's not like juddery or anything. Something I do really like in this car, that you do have the screen, but a lot of it is still operated through knobs and buttons, which is always great. Buttons are always the best, especially just for climate control. That works really well. So here we are on the Twisty Roads. Now the roads are wet, and like I said, this is a gigantic car that's rear-wheel drive, so I'm not gonna go crazy here.
With the RT package, you did get bigger brakes and a little bit of a beefier suspension.
There she goes. It moves. You feel the V8. It's no slouch. What's the 0 to 60 on this car?
I think it's somewhere around 5 seconds.
Pretty good.
The quarter mile is 13.9.
So originally we found a Dodge Charger 2013 in red. It had the RT Plus package, so it did have the heated and cooled cup holders. It had the sunroof. I think it had the cloth seats because I didn't want leather seats because you get sticky and stuff in the summertime. It was pretty much on sale for, I think, $7,000, which we were very skeptical of. And thankfully my husband is a mechanic, so we got the free Carfax from his job, and they said that it had been in a side, front, and back accident. Like pretty much the whole car was smashed. But it's funny because when I asked them over the phone that day, I asked if there's any scratches, dents, or anything like that, and they said no. So
all that's to say, get a Carfax report if you're buying a used vehicle.
Not sponsored by Carfax. Okay, so how do I put this in sport mode?
Just
click
tap
it over.
the thing.
Oh, I just have to tap it.
And then in the center console, it'll display what gear you're in. Currently 4th gear out of 5.
Oh, cool, I see. That's neat.
And it's actually pretty responsive. If you tap it, it'll shift fairly quickly.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Also, when you are in sport mode, shifting it yourself, it won't go into NDS mode, so there will be no 4-cylinder mode. You've got 8 all the time.
So is there a way to take it then out of sport mode?
Just tap it in one direction twice. I think it's plus twice.
Okay. So if you... Oh no, if I just hit plus and 5th, it goes into drive. Well, regardless, that's a pretty good system. Again, with this car, you really just notice the space in here. Like, I have tons of space. It's nice. Like, Jase is like really far away from me. But I actually have a power seat up here, which is cool, although the passenger does not. It's only one power seat, mechanical seat on the other side. But still, one is better than none. It's nice to have a power driver's seat. Oh, and hey, look, another Charger. That's a wide body. Nice.
This engine's a workhorse. You know, it's the same engine that's in trucks and Durangos and Jeeps, and I mean, they kind of built it to be configurable to any sort of large vehicle. So the manufacturer recommends that you run it on 89 octane gasoline. However, you can run it on 87 because every passenger vehicle has to be able to run on at least 87.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But they tell you that it's recommended you run it on at least 89 because it's a higher compression V8. And for optimum performance and fuel economy.
The torque of this engine really helps it not feel like massive and slow. Just because like coming out of that turn, you give it a little gas and there's so much low down torque, you just kind of accelerate with it. It's nice.
Yeah, it just kind of proceeds forward and it feels like it's not laboring. It's just
Yeah,
kind of easy.
it's easy on the engine to move this giant car. It's all that torque. So what engine did you get in the non-RT Charger?
In the non-RT for 2011, it was the first year for the 3.6 liter Pentastar V6.
Ah, the Pentastar.
Before that, you could either get a 2.7 liter V6 or a 3.5 liter V6, and both of them were on lists for like the worst engine.
Okay, so when it says Eco here on this screen, does that mean I'm in 4-cylinder mode?
Correct. Yes.
Ah, that's
and
cool.
It has the ability to switch from 4-cylinder mode to 8-cylinder mode in less time than it takes you to blink your eye.
Okay, let me see.
So
Oh yeah, there it goes.
that quickly, it'll take it out of 4-cylinder mode and you'll have 8
That's impressive.
almost immediately.
That's cool stuff. I like that.
There's 4 different cylinders that can be deactivated, and they each have their own solenoid. And so as soon as that solenoid is energized, oil pressure is then given back to that lifter so that it can expand again, and then you have 8 cylinders.
Good technology from Dodge. How was the backseat experience, Alan?
It is plush and luxurious. I love the nice little like leather pad here I have on the door. This is nice and squishy. I can kind of rest my arm on it. This is squishy as well. Everything that you're going to like normally touch is like squishy, so nothing is like really hard on you.
This is like one of the last full-size sedans you can buy. Like they still make the Charger, and it's still basically the same as this. It's the same platform and everything. Just you can get it in so many iterations, and obviously with the updated bodywork and stuff. But like, you just don't see full-size sedans anymore. It's all crossover stuff. Like Ford doesn't make any cars or sedans anymore, which is pretty crazy.
Yep, this is the last American sedan that you can have with the V8, besides the Chrysler 300. V8s will be going away by 2023. Well, at least the Hellcats will be, and then the rest of the Hemis will definitely be gone by 2026, when the government will be requiring all passenger vehicles to get at least 40 miles per gallon.
It's a good sound to hear. It's not loud, but you hear the V8. You know it's there.
All right, so that wraps up our video on this Dodge Charger RT. Now we have filmed all of the Grundlin cars until someone goes and buys another one. But then we'll go and review it. But yeah, this is our Dodge Charger. Definitely an awesome car, a great family vehicle, and one of the last full-size American sedans you can buy. So thank you to Alan and Jase for letting us drive it and review it, and we will see you guys in the next video. See ya.